Good morning and welcome. It's a beautiful sunny morning. It's Monday the 27th of October 2025. Good morning and welcome to you. My name is Jenny McCormack and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I'm based in Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire, and that is here in the UK. Thank you so much for joining us. It's nice to have a bright morning. We've had some very dull starts to the day and bits of rain and storms passing through, but I'm glad to say so far it's nice and bright this morning. I hope everybody is well, and we have a new stamp set of the week this week. It's called Winter Scenes. Let me bring the stamp set over. I'm hoping it's not going to reflect too much. It's a cling stamp set. It's an online exclusive item, so you won't see it in a printed catalogue, but you will see it if you hop online. And it features 4 very sweet winter scenes, exactly as it says, so perfect for some quick and simple Christmas cards, also good for Christmas birthdays, thinking of you, so don't have to be Christmas necessarily, just winter type cards. Right, let me make sure we're where we should be. It says we're live, that's always a good sign. And it looks like somebody has joined us already. So good morning, Catherine, and good morning, Lynn. Lovely to have you both join us this morning. Something is buzzing in my background. Has it stopped now? Going to make sure the plugs are all connected. Let me know if it's still doable. If not, I'll start and restart again. Is it too much to bear? Do I need to restart, Lynn? What do you think? I could turn my microphone down maybe a little bit. See if that helps. Very strange. Okay, I'm going to carry on for a minute, and if not, I'll restart. So these are the 4 winter scenes, so I stamped them out. So we've got this one with the river, we've got this one which is round like the edge of a pond, and then we've got a mountain scene with some deer, and then we've got a little log cabin. Oh, thank you. Now I've turned my volume down. I hope I can still hear me okay. So it's a cling stamp set, and they're nice, quite small designs. So if you're not a big fan of colouring in, then this could be for you. I decided to put them onto the little postage stamp dies. So this is from the Perennial Postage dies, of which there are lots of different sizes, and they will fit either the landscape ones or the portrait. So there's sort of 2 landscape and 2 in portrait. So I've used those. I've cut some pieces of card to go behind. This is actually imperial measurement, so this actually is 2 1/4 by 3 inches. The background is something like 5.8 by 7.7 centimeters, and I've stamped in the background. I don't know if you can see that, possibly not, I don't know, on there. That's a note card size, but in fact I decided it looked better suited to a large card size, which is this one, and I've stamped some little snowflakes in the background from the Festive Friends stamp set. So you could stamp snowflakes, you could stamp Happy Christmas, whatever you wanted to add. So nice and simple. So on this one I'm going to do 2 and do the other 2 designs. So I've got this one here and the mountain scene, which is that one, and that one with the deer. It's £21 for the stamps, and it just features those, nothing else. Right, let's grab 2 of these. So I pre-cut these in preparation for coffee and cards starting tomorrow. Let's grab a block, and I'm just going to stamp these in espresso. You could stamp them in basic grey. You could also stamp them in a blue, for example. Let's move that out of the way a little bit. Let's put that down. I've got a shadow appearing from somewhere. Let's put that light on. That might balance it out a little bit. Okay, and Catherine can see the snowflakes. Brilliant. Okay, so this is the lakeside sort of scene. Now, if you've got a very small Christmas sentiment, you could have it all on one. You could place it in the middle, you could place it at the bottom. I'm going to go just a little way up, I think. Like so. There's that one. It's got a little snowman on there as well. And then let's do the other one. Oh, I'd already had the block at the ready. More organised than I thought. And this one I'm going to do in landscape. And I'm going to keep it fairly central as well. Like so. Okay, so we're just going to do a small amount of colouring in. It really doesn't need a great deal. Because there's so much detail added in. Even the trees with the snow on, you don't have to add in detail if you didn't want to. So on this one here, I just added some blue for the water and a little bit of green for those trees. I'm hoping you can see that okay. Morning, Caroline. And then on this one, I just did a bit of green on this one. I added some green, but you can't really see it in the background. And then a little bit of crumb cake and soft suede, I think, for the cabin. I also added a little bit of blue to give a hint of that snow line. So let's wrap that up. So in the for the backings of these, I've cut various blues. I've also got some red. And I will also cut some greens. So as I say, these measure 2¼ inches by 3, just to fit those with a little bit of a margin all the way around. Okay, so those are all ready for coffee and card. So let's do this one first. I've got a little bit of water here. So really any blues that you've got, it's a small area. So if you don't have alcohol markers, you could certainly use Stampin' Up markers. You could use watercolour pencils. And I appreciate this is quite small for you to see what's going on. And then we've got like a little pathway here, and then the trees, and then the snow. So let's do, I've got light crumb cake that I'm going to use for my path. And here. Like so. And to be honest, you could also leave those scenes completely uncoloured if you wanted to. It would also look nice, I think, white embossed on a dark coloured card, so I might do that on Thursday. We've got a little bit of greenery popping up in the snow, so I'm just going to add a little bit of, this is light old olive, but really any green here, and that's a seat or a fence behind. It's too tiny to add the detail for the snowman, I've decided, but I might add just a small amount of greenery for these trees. Like that. And then I'm just dotting a little bit of colour in here. It doesn't need a full colour detail. Just a little hint of green, really. Like so. Now you could also add, with a blending brush, some blue around the edges, or you could leave it. So I've got a blending brush, so I might try one and see what that looks like. Here we've got some trees, so let's add a little bit more green. Morning, Jill. It is tiny. You're quite right. That snowman is dinky. Not even, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, just dropped my ruler. That snowman is literally 4 millimeters high. So good morning, Jill, thanks for joining us. So I'm just going to add some green for these trees on this scene, and you could use any green. Shaded spruce would obviously work with these sort of fir type trees. And there's another one here, and it's literally just a scribble of colour. You don't have to do any detailed colouring in. I know a lot of people don't like colouring in, so that would suit them really well. And then we've got this sort of is it a line of trees? I think it is a line of trees, and then we've got the mountain behind. So I'm just going to use a little bit of light crumb cake here. I don't want to colour it all in because I want it to look like, obviously there's snow on there as well. So just coming down here. Like so. And then we've got this line of trees. So I'm going to just change to a different green. Let's have a look. So this is actually retired colour, like just jade. And I guess this could be like a cliff, cliff edge. So you could do it sort of rock coloured, smoky slate, grey granite, something like that. And you could add some colour, additional shading if you wanted, but honestly I don't think it needs it. I quite like, it's almost like a little scene on a postage stamp. Okay, let me grab this blending brush and just see. I have got some balmy blue. Adding it to my brush here. I think I must really refill this balmy blue. because it gets used a lot for blending, and obviously that takes out a fair bit of the ink. So there's that around the edges. You could also do just a little bit of shading around the edge of the image. And I'm going to do this all the way around. I wasn't sure that I was, but I'm going to. And then we'll decide whether we like it with the edge or without. It creates quite a different look. This is very crisp and clean here on the left, and then this is a little bit more softer, a little bit more soft, I should say. Now we do also have some cardstock that has some really pretty snowflakes embossed, so I might try and utilize that later. Now I'm just about to say I'll utilize it on Thursday, but I won't be here Thursday because I'm off to the local Amateur Dramatic Society event. There we go. So let me know your thoughts, whether you prefer the one with the shading or without. Let me put them both together on here. Obviously against the white card, it looks quite different, doesn't it? Okay, so I've got some background pieces. I've got some assorted, I've got cloud cover, but you could also go for a deep blue, which is what I did on my other samples. You could even go for a contrasting red if you wanted to. I've got Night of Navy, also works. I've got Blueberry Bushel, Pretty Peacock, and I will cut some green ones as well in preparation. Okay, so those are going to go onto our base cards, which I should have at the ready. I'm going to have one in portrait, one in landscape. Caroline says she prefers the crisp one. I think I do too, I have to say. But there's not much in it. Okay, so this is going to go on here, but I decided it was a little bit plain. I didn't want to put any patterned paper on unless it was very, very lightly patterned. So what I've got is the snowflake from the Festive Friends, and I stamped that over the backing. You could also, if you've got other snowflakes in the Jolly Holly set, probably not as appropriate really, those three. The little sprig might have worked. So let's just pop that onto a small block and do some backgrounds. I'm actually going to stamp, am I going to stamp my sentiment first? No, I'm just going to do some backgrounds first. I've got one in, let's do Balmy Blue for this one, so it's a whole series of blues together. And in fact, portrait or landscape, I don't think it really matters. So let's just add this. In the background. If you've got other snowflake stamps or other, you could put, I guess you could put birds in the background, anything really. Right, I'm going to leave a space for my sentiment. I'm going to stamp off the edge so it looks more natural. Like so. It. so that's going to be my landscape one, and then I'm going to do the same on the portrait. You could just have the snowflakes coming down, sort of part the way down if you wanted to. Make sure I'm going off the edge. Oh, dottage, yes. That was the other thing I thought of. Thank you, Catherine. I thought about it last night. Dottage for snowflakes would be perfect. The one from Layering Leaves is always good. Yes, I should have done. I knew there was something else I should have done. Okay. So that's my backing. Let's have a look at placement then. So I'm going to pop that on there, like that. And then the sentiments that I'm using come from Jolly Holly. I like this because you've got the Merry Christmas and Happy Christmas, and separately, so you can do them either stacked up or one on each side, whichever you prefer. You've also got Bright and Happy Christmas Wishes. You've got a sentiment for the inside, and you've also got Have A, and then you've got the small block, so you can combine those. If you're doing a very small card, you haven't got much space, then these little ones are perfect. So for this one, I think I'm going to do maybe something different. So Bright and Happy Christmas Wishes, and I'm going to stamp that with Night of Navy, which is the colour I've got behind here. If I can reach it. There we go. Move these out of the way. I've also got these dots. I don't think they're still current, they were from last year, but they're silver, gold, red, and then this soft blue. And I thought that would work particularly well in some of the snowflakes. So Bright and Happy Christmas Wishes. Just going to try this on my scrap of paper. There it is. Just buried it. Yep, happy with that. So just by eye, I'm positioning that Bright and Happy Christmas Wishes, and that's going to go on top like so. These would also work on square cards. And then we've got here, I want something a little bit bigger. I probably will add in a snowflake at the bottom once I've done my stamping. If you've got the cutouts, you could use those, the die cuts with the ready-made sentiments, that would work. And you could change the colour of those using a blending brush over to make it blue, for example. So let's have Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas, whichever you prefer. I'm just going to do Happy Christmas. That's the first one I come to. And you can either do these separately or together. Really depends on your preference. They do fit quite closely together. Sometimes there's a little bit too much in the way. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to stick with Night of Navy as I've got it out ready. So this one I'm just going to do separately. There's my Christmas and my Happy, and we're done. Morning, Trudy. So Catherine says she struggles to line them up. So doing it this way separately. so. If you struggle with that, then the best way to do it is to stamp them separately and then just cut out, just cut them out, just with scissors or even a trimmer. Just cut a long thin strip of card, stamp them all, and then just cut them out individually. It also means you've got more space for layering if you want to. Right, let's add a little snowflake there at the bottom. And it's going to have one going off the top there. So all we need to do now is to finish those off. I'm going to layer them up so I not lose my Christmas. So I'm going to stick this image onto here with glue because I've used thin white cards and it's not quite as solid. And then I'll use dimensionals for putting that double layer onto my card. If you are concerned about cost of postage, normally one set of dimensionals high is fine, but if in doubt and you want to be sure, then just glue each of the layers down. So that's going to go on there. And I put a sheet of dimensionals out ready. There we go. So I'm delighted that we've had so many people join our team with the October offer. So this is live on the 27th of October 2025. And we've had over 20 people join our team because it is such a good offer. I don't think I've certainly never seen that amount of deal from Stampin' Up. So it's £35 and you get to join the team, and you can choose £130 of product for your £35. Yes, wrong piece, Jenny. So a warm welcome to everybody who's joined us. I'm hoping that's going to fit on there. Yes, it is. But it does mean I'm being busy with all our welcome packs, which means my class in a box for October has got slightly delayed, for which I do apologise. So the welcome packs will all go out today, and then the class in a box for October, which will be Christmas cards, quick and easy Christmas cards, will be released today, tomorrow. Good morning, Monica has joined us. I also have an event in November, and that is a what I call a pick and mix event. So there'll be 12 projects to choose from, and you can come along either in the morning, the afternoon, or all day. So morning session is £20, afternoon is £20, and you can do as many of those projects as you like within that time. Booking for that is open, spaces are limited, so if you do want to join me for that, that's 22nd of November, then just send me a message and I'll make sure you get the details. Okay, let me find those cute little pearls. I could do with, there we go, pokey tool. So I've got silver. I'm just going to use these because they're very cute, and I can put them on the snowflakes. So 1, 2, and 3, like that. And then I'll do the same with this one, but I have got those little silver ones as well. This was called Festive Pearls. You could put them on that panel if you wanted to. 1, 2. You could put it on the dot of the eye for Christmas as well. There we go. I will add a Christmas sentiment on the inside. This one has a nice, may the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness and love. Or you could add, wishing you and yours all the best. Or any other Christmas sentiment you may have. So little stray pieces there. So there we go. That's all 4 of the scenes. This one was on a note card, but I've upgraded them to the larger size card. I think it just looks a bit squashed on that one. So there's the cabin, there's the little river scene, we've got this one here, the little sort of park bench and the lake pond, and then the mountain scene. Morning, Annabelle. So I wonder which one you like the best of those designs. I think I'm veering towards this one, only because of that colour combination, but it might just be me. So do let me know which one you prefer out of those, although obviously they're all very, very similar. I will be back on Wednesday morning for another online exclusive. And in fact, what I might do is what I would do Thursday on Wednesday. So I'll use this and I'll use some other online exclusive products. So basically run those 2 into one session. So I hope you're able to join me for that. I hope you like the designs. We'll start these at Coffee and Card tomorrow. That's the 28th of October at Esquires in Brackley. And this afternoon we are in Toaster for the rest of the autumn cards that we were making last week. So it's all systems go. I know it is half term for some people in our local area here this week. So I look forward to seeing some of the children or grandchildren of some of our attendees at Coffee and Card. Thank you so much, everyone. Do take care. Stay safe, look after yourselves and your loved ones. Keep crafting. Bye for now.